La 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 la. I'm just a yelly kind of guy. It's all part of the job. Anything for a laugh, really. There we go. Look at that. That's going to be the promo. It's just me going to be
just
butting. Interrupt me now, please. Stop me from talking shit. You let me talk, it will inevitably get dark.
I don't even know what to ask you about. I have to know. Then
What do you have to know?
I have to know.
Oh, no, don't ask that question. This sick question is so exhausting.
Randy Feltface, this is amazing. It's incredible to be here.
Look at me on my beautiful seat. This is so nice. I love what you've done with the place. I love the ceiling. That is a good ceiling. You'll never catch this, audience, but they have done a miraculous job. It's like a Sistine Chapel of podcast studios in here. And look at this bulb.
What?
Have you ever seen such a magnificently exposed bulb? I love a festoon light. I love a bulb on a string. Why is it on a pole? Hang it directly from the Sistine-esque roof. I tells you, my head is bulbous. I'm ready to go. Let's do it. Stop talking. I'm still talking about the bulb.
I've got an. Is this why you're so attracted to the exposed bulb? Is it because it kind of reflects your shape?
It reminds me of the sweet 90s when every share house had an exposed bulb. When the Edison bulbs came back, I was so into that. I was hanging bulbs from every part of my house. Now I have no house. All I have is the memory of the bulb.
Oh my God. I don't even know what to say about that, Randy, because I makes me feel so melancholy to
well, that's always that's the vibe that I like to create at the beginning of a podcast. Just dramatic, melancholy, and now we can talk about comedy.
The bulbs. It's not the lighting. It's not like that in the dressing rooms at the shows that
backstage.
You do?
No, most of the dressing rooms are full of like horrific fluorescent lights. Nobody takes time. Oh, you know what? A lot of the mirrors in the dressing rooms, they'll have those mirror lights.
Yeah.
That go around them. Some of those, they are traditionally exposed bulbs, but these days they're all fluorescent, halogen, sort of bright white, white ones. No, I want a warm light. I know it's worse for the environment, but I don't give a fuck. I want a warm bulb.
So you know what I've been thinking about lately?
Tell me.
It's the warm light thing, because when I was growing up in Chicago, we had, the big sodium arc lights on the street that cast off this orange glow everywhere. And you'd be driving home from the family dinner and it's just this kind of, hazy orange hovering over. And now when you drive home at night, it's this sort of like cold white, blue, very bright LED, lighting, and it just doesn't have that same feel anymore.
Yeah, it's a perfect sort of allegory for what's happened with the world in general, hasn't it? We're less warm. We've gone cold. We've turned our backs on the beauty of the warmth and that misty rain just hanging, drifting in streetlights. Now it's all like cold, clinical, AI-controlled lighting. It's all cold. And ironically, the planet's getting hotter. So, I don't know how you figure that out. Google climate change. You fucking figure it out. Next question.
It's this kind of how you get into First Banana is, this idea of, we're evolving the wrong way.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if we're evolving the wrong way. I think that we were always destined to self-destruct. But I just feel like it would have been amazing to be able to hit a pause button 10,000 years ago. I think that was the primo time. Sure. People might say, Randy, so much horrific shit happened before that, leading up to that moment when the first banana appeared. But I feel like at least at that point, the ship hadn't completely sailed. We could have put a fucking pin in it. But, life.
I feel like we're talking about very heavy things before 12 o'clock in the afternoon even. It's like, it is like...
well, you're driving this ship, so, if you want to steer it back into some sort of calmer waters, I am here. You let me talk, it will inevitably get dark. You interrupt with some wacky questions about life on the road. Let's talk about life on the road.
It's like every other comedian. Basically, it's you let them talk, in a quiet setting, and it goes dark and sullen real fast.
We'll talk ourselves. Not every comic, but most of us. I mean, if it's just stream of consciousness, it's how you write jokes, really, isn't it? You just try to think of the most horrible stuff, and then eventually some joy comes out of it.
And it's the third most horrible thing is the one that's the funny one.
Number 3. Always. Rule of 3, folks. Rule of 3.
But I'm wondering, how is it exactly that you got into stand-up in the first place? Because you started performing, you've been performing for almost 20 years.
Over 20 years now.
Yeah.
I think it's 21 this year. That's too many years.
But it didn't start with stand-up.
No, I did all sorts of things. I did children's entertaining. I did corporate training stuff. Look, I was always a huge comedy fan growing up. That's really was my whole thing. So it was kind of inevitable. Performing in some capacity and doing some sort of comedy was always on the cards. but oh yes, no, you go.
No, you sorry. Please.
No, I'm just getting very comfy in this nice seat. No, yeah. What were you going to say? There was a good follow up. I could sense it.
I'm wondering who your comedy influences were that got you really thinking, you know what, I have to get up and do this. I have to make people laugh.
Well, I actually grew up on a lot of from Australia, a lot of Australian comedy and British comedy. We got a lot of UK stuff. Like I remember the first time I saw The Young Ones. That series kind of blew my mind. So stuff like that. And then there's a lot of Australian comedians. There's a group who were called the D Generation. They were like a sketch comedy kind of team.
Right.
And people like Leno and Woodley. I'm going to say all these names and one of your listeners will be like, yes, yes. But then I kind of got exposed to, so we didn't really get a lot of American stand-up, but there was a community radio station in Melbourne near where I grew up called Triple R. And there was a comedy show on there that used to play stand-up, and that's where I first heard people like Bill Hicks and George Carlin and sort of any of that kind of classic stuff that was coming out in the early 90s that I was just like, okay, well, that's now my entire personality.
Because you do swear quite a bit in your performances. You do get kind of loud and yelly. Is that the Bill Hicks? Is that the Sam Kinison in you coming out?
I never saw Sam until much later in my sort of career. But I was always I was in metal bands growing up. I was always in like heavy metal bands. So I did a lot of screaming anyway. But yeah, I think artists like Bill Hicks and people like that gave me probably permission to scream. I have a thing with the screamy thing. I do probably scream a little bit too much. I'm aware of it. I'm working on it. I see all these amazing stand-up comedians who just get up and just deliver material calmly and, gently and just destroy, and that's just, I think that's a very American thing. There's a lot of American stand-ups who are very sort of measured and calm. Actually, I'm touring with a comedian called Brodie Snook at the moment. She's from Western Australia. She's amazing. Check out Brodie Snook, everybody. But her style is very beautifully written stuff, very calmly delivered, poised. Her composure is unflappable. I just don't think I can do that. I think I'm just like maybe it's because there's so much physicality. I feel like I have to, kind of make the point with my body, and so I yell. I don't know. I'm just a yelly kind of guy.
Is it the purple? Did that being a purple being made out of fabric? Is that something that made it difficult for you to get gigs?
Absolutely. Yes, I did. I got a lot of rejection in the early days. A lot of we'll call you when we need someone who looks like Tinky Winky from the Teletubbies with a life-threatening autoimmune disease. We'll get on the phone when we need that, Randy. But for the rest of the time, it probably opened a few doors for me at the same time, I used to perform on a lot of variety shows with filthy carnies. And so I sort of came up in that world. So maybe that's the other thing. I probably did a lot more variety shtick. And it was always very, like, because I worked with this musical comedian called Sammy J. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the work of Sammy J.
I'm familiar of your work with Sammy J.
He is my comedy husband. We maintain a very close relationship. But he and I used to do these late night sort of anarchic sketch kind of shows where it was just basically me and him yelling at each other for a long time with piano in between and me getting hit in the head with frying pans and stuff. So there's probably a real origin there with me being more of a theatrical performer. So I project.
What kind of impact does that have on you where you're getting hit with frying pans? I mean, the Three Stooges, after a while, where their bodies were just riddled with chronic injuries.
Yeah.
Do you battle concussions?
Oh yeah, very much so. I'm very Buster Keaton-esque in the way I carry my injuries. Yeah, I'm always limping around with something. But, you know, it's all part of the job. Anything for a laugh, really. There we go. Look at that.
How far does that actually take you?
That's going to be the promo. It's just me going to be
just
headbutting the mic. Probably.
What?
Thing on?
Yeah, bring it out. Sure, bring the microphone in closer to you. Definitely.
No, I don't know. I feel like it's in my shot. Fuck it off. Yeah, keep going.
So tell me, just how is that you that you keep adjusting your comedy, your style of comedy? If you're moving away from like pratfalls, but still being very physical and even more into storytelling, how do you develop a show like that?
So it's, for me, the balance is always the right amount of research and pathos with the right amount of slapstick and dick jokes, basically. So I try to balance it out. Sometimes you get the mix right. Sometimes it goes too far the other way. Like I was touring this show, First Banana, which the special is just dropped for that, and that show took a really long time, I think, for me to get the mix right with punchline and pathos. It was very dense, it was very researched, and it wasn't funny enough. And so that show actually, over the course of the 2 years that I toured it, just got absolutely decimated, rebuilt from the ground up. So I'm always just trying to keep it fun for me, mostly, but also if something's not working, I just cut it. And then try not to end up with just 58 minutes of dick jokes, you know what I mean? There's got to be some substance in there.
56
minutes of dick jokes. That'll do. Yeah.
That'll be the tagline. That'll be the name of the episode.
Yes, Randy Feltface 56. Did we say 56 minutes of dick jokes? Well, 47 is the funniest number. So I'd say 47 minutes of dick jokes.
That's the cutoff.
Did you know that? 47?
I didn't know that was the funniest number. I probably shouldn't be revealing
these secrets. That's a little secret. 47, funniest number. No number funnier.
And what makes the number 47 so hilarious?
I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's just the perfect, if you're ever like if I do a joke where I list the number of something, I always go with 47. It just seems like the right, 4 is funny. 7, you can't get funnier than 7.
Right.
6, too serious. 5, no one wants a 5. You know what I mean? But 47, something about 47, elephants came in the room and everyone's like, yeah, it's 47. Yeah, you just go...
but you're
it's too early. 47 elephants wasn't funny enough. We'll fix that in post. Go. Next question.
But yeah,
I'm on the piss. Look at this. I'm on the lean for some reason.
This
cushion is crooked.
It's so impressive.
What am I? You're about to say I'm something.
I am, because you've done so many TV hours or so many hour specials. At this point, it feels, I think the First Banana, which is out on the first week of April, is your 6th, I want to say, 7th.
Oh my gosh. Probably about 7th, maybe 8th.
And so how is it that you're doing this, that, when you do a special and release it, do you throw all the material out and then you're on to the next one?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Some bits of the special I sort of keep in the can if I need to if I'm doing like a stand-up spot, like 10 minutes, sometimes you use some of the best bits from the special you've already released. But generally, I'm writing a new hour every time. And that's like I grew up in the festival world in Australia, so you do a new hour every year pretty much, which is unsustainable and quite frankly more about making money for the festivals than fulfilling the artists,
right?
In hindsight. But it does train you to be able to churn an hour out. And then generally what I do now is I sit down, I write an entire hour, and then I start touring it. I'm not really one of those comics that works gear up on the road or tries stuff and gets there 10 minutes and then builds the 20 and whatever. I kind of write the whole thing and then I try it and I see what works and then I kick the fuck out of it on the road until it's in a good shape.
And then do you sort of stockpile a set of best of clips? So the first time you actually go perform somewhere new, do you take out a best of show, or is it whatever the new show is that you're touring?
No, it's the hour. So currently I'm touring a new show called Gimmick. And as soon as the first Banana tour finished, I sat down and I wrote Gimmick, and then I went straight out on the road with that. So Gimmick is a really tight hour. Right. It's probably about 65 minutes. And it's quite a narrative-y show. There's like some video effects and there's a couple of songs and stuff. So the idea for the new show, because it's called Gimmick, the idea was that everything in the show is a gimmick. So I just wrote whatever I thought was funny. And it's just become this sort of weird little monster. It's really fun for me, this new one.
Are you sort of transitioning away from being a stand-up comedian and being more like a storyteller or?
I think I definitely started way more story-driven. My first show was called Randy's Postcards from Purgatory, my first hour. And that was very narrative. That was a full storyline with other props and set bits and costume changes and stuff. So on all the shows I did with Sammy J, they were all like big theatrical extravaganzas with sets and puppets and props and songs and stuff. So I definitely came from that world. And then I really lent into the stand-up for a while. I've done a couple of shows that are just very stand-up-y. I like all the silly theatrics and the extra little tricks and stuff. So it does mean I have to travel with more shit. 2 suitcases with a set and props and stuff, which is, I'm not a very lightweight. I envy stand-up comedians that just walk into a room and get on stage and just talk into a microphone.
Right.
I think they take for granted how fucking amazing that is, that they could just get on a plane with nothing, arrive in a new city, walk into a room with nothing and do a show. I have to take all this shit with me, you know?
And then you don't really, we were talking before the show, but you don't really have a home base. You're kind of just constant on the road.
Yes.
Always touring that. You don't really feel like you have a base. What does that do for you? I don't know if I should say as a person, but
yeah, psychologically, it's a lot. I feel like, I'm getting old now. I think maybe I'm in my mid 40s. I think when I was in my 20s, touring like that, this is how I've always toured, and it was a little bit more manageable. But now I'm like, oh my god, I just want a fucking bookshelf. I want a bed that's my one. I want my things in a place. I sleep in a different bed every night of the week. And I'm not, for 1 second, let me be clear here, listeners and viewers, anyone who's watching this on a clip, but I am not complaining about my lifestyle. I love touring. I'm fucking perpetually grateful for the world that I have created and that I get to exist in. It's insane. But it's tiring not having stuff anywhere. All my stuff is spread out. It's half of my shit. Well, not half. I've got a storage locker in LA, in America, with some stuff in it. And then I have a shipping container in country Victoria in Australia with just collected bits of, detritus that have stuck to me over the years. And then the rest of it is just in a suitcase and it comes with me around the world. I'm sick of it. I want to do some laundry. I want a washing machine. Is that too much to ask? I just want a goddamn washing machine and a bookshelf. Oh, and a cup. I want a mug. I want a mug that's my mug, that I have my nice little matcha in every morning. Self-whisked, ceremonial grade. No milk. Don't put milk in your matcha, you fucking Philistines. Go back to pure ceremonial. Look at me, appropriating matcha. Interrupt me now, please.
So
Stop me from talking shit.
I have to know then,
What do you have to know?
I have to know where you would put roots down. Where would you?
Don't ask that question.
I have to know what would get you. What you've been all over the world.
Yes.
You've been on probably every populated continent
Most
by
of
now.
them, yes. Yeah, probably all of them.
What's it going to take to get you off the road and to settle down?
This sick question is so exhausting. I don't know where to live. Probably Australia because I have beautiful parents there and nieces, and I love it there. It's nice, it's comfortable. But also, I've built a career in America. I've put all my eggs in the United States of America basket.
Was that a good call?
It was at the time. I mean, it's still, the audiences there are still amazing. I love performing there. They're still the greatest crowds. It's just that the country's in a very, very strange place at the moment.
Is it difficult for you to get in across the border?
No, so far so good. I have a visa and I do all the right things and I show up. I'm not a controversial figure in any. I don't feel like I'm a threat to the American status quo. Or if I am, I don't feel like I'm on their radar yet. Maybe I will be after this goes to air. I'm sorry. I pledge allegiance to the flag. I don't fucking know. It's fine. I love America. I love touring there. It's just, yeah, it's...
I mean, you love it so much you ran for president there. I
did.
Just a year and a half ago.
Yes. Yeah, well, yeah. Was that only a year and a half ago?
I know.
Sweet
it's
Jesus.
A short year and a half, isn't it?
Yeah, Feltopia. That's special. You can watch that on YouTube.
Yeah.
Everybody always asks me, why are you not on Netflix? Why don't you just get a Netflix special? Like it's as simple as knocking on the door and saying, give me a special. I've asked them. I even filmed First Banana and said, do you want this? And they were like, no. We've given out 900 specials this year. There's no more room, which is fair enough. I actually like going to YouTube with my specials anyway, because that's where I've actually built an audience and they're loyal and they're beautiful and they respect me for my free content. Most of them do. Some people post horrific comments.
But hundreds of thousands of viewers. You can't just focus on the negative comments.
I do not. I very rarely read them. I don't. I just delete negative stuff. But there's not that much, actually. I mean, I don't cop it nearly as much as a lot of other comedians do on the internet.
Is there one negative comment that really kind of stuck with you that you had a tough time getting past?
Not really. Someone recently called me out for the fact that I post crowd work clips. Crowd work clips, there's a perception that crowd work clips are very hacky. A lot of comedians on podcasts, actually. Comedians who have podcasts shitting on comics who do crowd work, I find really interesting. Because I'm doing crowd work to create content, right? So that, because I do an hour every night of the week, and maybe 5 minutes of that hour is me interacting with someone in the crowd. And if I pull that 5 minutes out and put it on the internet, it helps me sell tickets for future shows. But there's this perception that comedians like, oh, you only do crowd work when you're in trouble and it's hacky to put that on the internet, they say, on their podcast, which they do purely for content purposes. So fuck you. We all gotta fucking create our shit to sell tickets. That's just my way of doing it. But to be honest, I'm actually not filming this show. So this tour, I'm not shooting any of it.
You're not going to shoot Gimmick?
No, I will film it as a special, but I don't think I'm going to release any crowd work clips.
Well, how come?
Special? Just because of the nature of the show. I don't really want to reveal the visuals of the show. And also, like, I've always done crowd work, and it's only been the last couple of years that I've started filming it. So it's not like I just started doing crowd work. Oh, this is a way to... It's just like I've always done crowd work. I was like, oh, maybe I should shoot it and release it to promote the tour. But no, I'll just come up with something else.
But it's also not very fair to call crowd work very hacky. I mean, some of these podcast comedians' favorite heroes built a career on it. Like Don Rickles, his whole career is based on crowd work. But
also crowd work there is some shit crowd work. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that crowd work is the height of comedic prowess. There is some very shit, lazy crowd work out there. And it has become a real hot button thing lately. But the other side of it is it's a tightrope, and if you can actually get some gold out of an audience interaction on the spot, I do it to keep me on my toes. Because if someone gives you something good in the show and then you weave it back in later, it's just everybody in the room feels like they're seeing something for the first time. They're experiencing something that's fresh. There's some amazing comedians that do crowd work.
Yeah.
I love seeing people like Jordan Jensen. Oh my God, the way she talks to the crowd is great. And there's so many people who do great stuff like that. So
now you're taking your own opener with you
Yes.
around on this tour.
Yes.
But do you have somebody opening for her as well? Do you bring in local comics?
Not on this tour. No, it's a very tight sort of show. So Brody does 20 minutes and then I just jump up and I do my sort of 65. And I find that works. I've done shows, particularly in the States, where you have a host and an opener and then the host and then you. But I kind of like to run a bit of a tight ship and
leave them wanting more.
Yeah, a little bit. But also, do you really want a show that long? Like if Brody does 20 and I do 65, I feel like that's the right amount of time to sit in a theater.
Right.
In the UK, I have an interval. And in Paris on this Gimmick tour, I had an interval. So there's 20 minutes, then a break, people going. That's just because, venues need to ply the patrons with alcohol in order to cover their. But in the States, it's table service.
Yeah.
So you can sit there and get hammered with your chicken wings and you never have to get up and go to the bar.
It's a perfect setup, really.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Chicken tenders for all.
Is this why you shot your special that's just out? Is that why it was shot in Brooklyn?
Why? Because of the chicken tenders?
I shot because the audience is maybe a little bit more in the vibe and a little bit more in the comedy club, or did you just want something a little bit different from the special before that, which was in Australia?
Yeah, I shot Feltopia in Australia because I was playing. I wanted to shoot a special in a big theater. I was playing the Palais Theatre in Melbourne, which is like 2,700 seats, and it just felt really amazing to have a home team, kind of in the room. But for this one, First Banana is kind of an American story in some respects. Like it's a sort of a United States of America, but America continent kind of story. It's about the fact that I think global evolution should have stopped at the first banana. And there's a lot about the banana wars and sort of how that kind of, developed. And so it just felt like a kind of an American story. So it felt like the right place to shoot it.
But if evolution had stopped with the first banana, then we wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation.
No,
right
we
now.
Wouldn't. We'd be happy. We'd be happy somewhere. We'd be living in symbiotic simplicity with the rest of the planet.
But I'm very happy here right now.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I feel like in this situation, we're nudging happiness. We're content within the confines of this particular social and media construct. But, if we didn't have to work, if we could just live in a nice hut and make nice foods and grow our vegetables free from pesticides and bloody genetic engineering and such. I really lament. I lament for the very nature of progress and the inexorable march of human endeavor, even though it's brought us so many beautiful things. Like people will be like, oh yeah, go and live in the forest, Randy, and then when you get sick, you just die from a cold. I know that science has given us a lot of great things, but God damn it, I just want a simpler life.
You just want a simpler life, but then you're still touring around day after day after day. It seems like such a contradiction.
Therein lies the duality, my friend. I'm very much. I think also you're catching me at a moment. I keep doing that. It's very satisfying.
No, please.
You're catching me at a moment where I am definitely craving a little break. So I think probably I'm going to tour Gimmick until maybe March 2027. Then I'm going to take some time off. This is me publicly stating that am I looking down the barrel? In 2027, I'm going to have a little rest.
And what are you going to do with this time off? I mean, aside from the matchas,
probably start a podcast.
Yeah. So more competition in the podcast space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might create some sort of video I like this. What you got going on here with the cameras. Maybe I'll create some sort of video content. I'm not going to interview people, though. If in 2027 I release some sort of interview podcast where I try to talk to celebrities about shit, shoot me. No offense to you. You work for a reputable media outlet.
Yes.
Celebrities talking to other celebrities about being a celebrity, or comedians talking to other comedians about comedy, I'm done with it. It's done. It's over. I'm calling it. No more.
And then what about just sitting down and interviewing normal people?
What is a normal person? What does a normal person look like? Who is a normal person?
Or how about a normal non-celebrity?
No one is going to listen to a podcast where the person who is being interviewed is not selling something. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they're out there. I'm not listening to them. Fall of Civilizations podcast. I want to do something like that. Have you ever listened to that podcast?
No, tell me more.
Oh, Fall of Civilizations. Each episode is between like 2 and 6 hours long. And it basically traces the origins and eventual collapse of different civilizations throughout history. It is phenomenal listening. And they do this thing where they find like old diaries. Like the guy who researches it is remarkable, and he delivers it. And then they have actors come in and read the parts for people throughout history, or like a Spanish explorer who discovered like an ancient Mayan temple or something they'll read from his diary. And they always do sort of semi-bad. It's almost like amateur theater acting. I don't want to shit on the actors who are on Fall of Civilizations. Hats off to you. Kudos. I love it. But occasionally there's someone who was like, as we walked through the jungle, the mighty Sphinx leapt forth from the forest floor and I stood shaking in my boots. They really do overplay it a little bit. And I kind of listen for that as well. From an amateur theater level, fucking love that. Yeah. They feel like RADA students.
So are you thinking about
VO?
You're going to start something like that maybe?
Yeah, I'm going to start doing that. I did a BBC Radio 4 series called Randy Feltface's Destruction Manual. And then this year, I'm actually going to record a second season with BBC Radio 4 called Randy Feltface's Human Handbook, which is like a nature documentary about humans from the perspective of a non-human. And
you're not going to do like an Attenborough thing where you're...
Well, that's it. I am. I literally am the tagline is that I'm the David Attenborough of humans. So yes, that's it. I'm going to look at humans and all their silliness from the perspective of a nature documentarian.
And you're not human yourself.
Exactly. That's why I have a unique perspective.
But what are you?
Who knows?
You don't know.
Don't know.
And that doesn't make it difficult for you to get into America, which is pretty incredible also.
I know. Well, and my visa is I'm an alien of extraordinary ability. I'm on the O1. So literally it's in the title. Who knows? Who knows what's going on here?
I mean, if we don't know what you are, is it fair to call you a puppet?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I mean, you can have Kermit is a puppet, but he's also a frog, right?
Right.
Elmo is a monster, both on and offset. Big Bird's a bird, What's the count? Nobody knows.
Are these people in your social circle?
No.
Do you hang out with other puppets?
Not really. I know a lot of puppeteers. I spend time with some puppeteers, particularly in America. There's a lot of amazing puppeteers and amazing puppet makers over there. I kind of knock around with some of them. But the puppets tend to keep to themselves, I don't really get to hang out with them. Oh, this interview's taken a strange turn, hasn't it?
I'm getting to a point where I'm just wondering if you want to take this time off and you want to relax and be off the road, who are you going to hang out with in your personal life? Because once you're there and, you don't have the audiences cheering for you, is that going to be more isolating when you're off the road? The
friendships I have neglected through the lifestyle I have chosen are rich and plentiful. So I just got to get back. I got to get back to my old crew, my old school crew that I grew up with. I have friends who know everything about me and who I've had so many formative experiences with that I don't talk to or see anymore, and that makes me sad. Community. I need a community. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Have you read Lost Connections?
I have not read Lost Connections.
It's a good book. Check it out. Johan Hari wrote it. It's a great book. It sort of talks about all the ways in which we sort of lost connections.
Yeah.
It's in the title.
Yeah.
But one of the main things is community sort of thing, and I don't really feel like I've nurtured a community that is physical. I have an online community. Hopefully they all watch me when I drop first banana, but that's more about professional fulfillment than professional.
Right.
No, professional fulfillment than personal. I just said that's more about professional fulfillment than professional. We'll cut that in the edit. We won't, because it's funny that I fucked up. That's all we have time for today on the Dam Yankee podcast. I'm Randy Feltface. Thanks for tuning in.
Randy, no, I need more with you, man, because you're just, you're the first time that I've actually interviewed a puppet. But,
oh, wow.
But it's the last time I actually spoke to a puppet, I was interviewed by the puppet.
Oh, who interviewed you?
Triumph the Insult Comic Dog.
Ah, Triumph with his delicately placed cigar. How does he keep it in his mouth? Nobody knows.
Not very well, as it turns out. And thankfully, actually, I was cut from the interview, which means I didn't make an ass of myself on camera, because it was...
Where were you interviewed?
It was in Chicago when the Chicago Cubs won the World Series.
Oh.
It's the first time in over 100 years that
what
they won
year
the
was
championship.
that?
2016.
Oh, good year 2016. Year of innocence. Pre-COVID. No one knew what was coming. Okay.
Yeah, and I was in a bar and watching the game, and Triumph was going around all the bars while the game was on, interviewing just people who were hammered out of their mind.
Yes.
And thankfully, I was not so drunk or lost in the scene that they cut my interview out.
Oh man, your claim to fame is that you once got interviewed by Triumph, the insult dog, and it ended up on the cutting room floor.
Yes, but and I'm happy about it.
Let's reenact it right now. So tell me, so tell me, what do you think about the Cubs? what do you think about the Cubs right now?
I'm so I'm so looking forward to the start of their new season, and they're going to be a great team this year, I think.
Okay, thanks for talking to us. We're not going to use any of that. We'll cut that. Chilling reenactment, my friends.
It's so much different to be on the other side of that and to look eye to eye with.
Am I looking at you? I don't know if I've looked
we
at
are.
you
We're looking dead at each other,
staring at you.
Yes, and
into your soul,
and it's disquieting in a way,
disconcerting. It's creepy shit, man.
It is. It is. How do you get? How do people get used to it? Does it take people time to get used to having a conversation with a purple felt comedian?
I don't stick around long enough to find out. Usually, we get the footage, and then I get back to my hotel room and weep over my oats that I'm eating out of a mug. Mug oats. This podcast is proudly brought to you by Randy's Mug Oats. Folks, when I'm on the road, I travel with instant porridge and a small mug that's made of, those, what are they? The mugs that you go camping with? What's that? Aluminium?
Sure.
Don't say aluminum. An aluminium mug with oats in it. I throw a couple of blueberries in there, bit of hot water. There you go. Ready to get on the plane.
Yeah. With that, so
Mug Oats.
.nl. If you're here and
if you're here
and
I'm here
and you're doing 3 shows. You're doing 3 shows in the Netherlands this week.
I am, yes.
Which will have happened by the time this airs.
Oh, no.
Oh, it's okay, because, this is for the special more. But what I'm wondering is, you performed in the Netherlands before, certainly.
Yeah.
What's your opinion of the audiences here?
They're fantastic. And the Netherlands is the one area of Europe that I've really managed to cultivate an audience by coming back. And also, big shout out to Arjen Lubach, because I did the Avant show, and then just this on this trip I was on Lubach, And they've been incredibly supportive and helped me really reach a wider audience in this part of the world that I wouldn't have reached by just doing shows. So I love touring here because the ticket sales are great, the audiences are enthusiastic, and I feel like they have a bit of, I don't know, I feel like we have a relationship outside of me just being on stage, you know? There's a bit more familiarity. I feel like, yeah, I love it here. I think that the audiences are great.
Yeah. The cities that you're performing in here are Amsterdam, Rotterdam, Utrecht, anywhere else?
Eindhoven, Amsterdam, and Rotterdam. Yeah.
Eindhoven, Amsterdam, and Rotterdam.
Yeah. And then I went across the border into Antwerp, which was a good time.
Yeah. And so of the Dutch cities that you've visited here, do you have one that's kind of a favorite for you?
Well, here's the thing. I've never been to Rotterdam. This is my first time performing in Rotterdam.
Really?
So I am going to hold fire on my response. If it was down to Eindhoven and Amsterdam, I would say Amsterdam, just because I have more affinity with the city. I've spent more time here. And Eindhoven was weird last time I was there.
You gotta tell me.
It'll be great. There was some strange street festival going on and people were pissing on the footpaths and I was walking to the theater. I was like, what's happening? And then the crowd were great, but it was also a strange night.
Was it carnival?
Is that what, I don't know, is that a thing?
Was it this time of year? Was it on this trip or a
No,
while
it was a
ago?
previous tour. No, I think it was later in the year.
Okay.
It was like May, maybe.
End of April, we have King's Day. Maybe it was King's Day?
No, my God, maybe it was King's Day. Would I have done a show on King's Day?
No, probably not.
The king wouldn't have been happy with that. Can't be pissing off the king.
Yeah, no, you can't do that.
Let's not say anything ill about the king.
But what happened in Eindhoven? The way you're staring down at me and sort of have this quirky gap look on your face. It's I don't even know what to ask you about.
Just taking it all in, my friend.
I know.
But here, look, just to close the loop on that, which city is best?
Yes.
And not get me into trouble. As I said, I'm holding my response until I've spent time in Rotterdam. I will send you a text after the Rotterdam show, and I will give you my opinion on the dam. On
great.
the rot. Oh, this chair's moving. I'm falling out of the chair.
Well, Randy, look,
it's been fantastic. Thanks for having me on the show. What an absolute delight.
You've
got a hard out. Let's get the fuck out of here.
I appreciate all the time that you've given and that you've made, that you've made yourself so available to talk so deeply.
I'm hoping that everybody watches this back and tries to figure out how it is that I'm sitting in this chair. If you notice, I'm actually sitting on the floor in front of the chair, and this chair is a prop. But that's better. Oh my God, that's way better. Why didn't I do this for the whole thing? La 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 la.
Randy,
that's me.
Where can people see First Banana?
YouTube, where I put all my specials because I'm a man of the people. Have it for free and I get some shitty advertising revenue on the side. But I say so much horrific shit in this special, I will not be cleared for most ads. So watch it, enjoy it, and if you like it, come and see me live, because that's where the real juice is.
And Randy, how do people find out where you're touring? Where can they go?
Feltface.com or at Randy Feltface on all platforms.
All right.
At Randy, find me on X. I'm very active on X.
Randy, thank you so much for the time that you spent.
It's been so much fun. Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate it.
Bulbs. Bringing it home with the bulbs. Everybody, if you take nothing else from this podcast, go out and get yourself an exposed bulb.
Bulbs, everybody.
I'm an exposed bulb.
Thanks, Randy Feltface.
Good day. Thanks for having me, everybody. It's been great. It's been the funnest day. Oh, now I'm in your shot.
Oh, my God.
I'm in this shot now. Get out of my shot. And I'm in this one. And I'm in this one. This will be great for the promo. Tune in, folks. Randy's on the pod. It's going to be great.
It is going to be great.
Camera 2. Camera 1. Camera 2. Okay, I'm out.